Hi guys, I would like to show you a new software which I've developed for Flight Simulator. It allows you to train different approaches. The first things to do when you open the software is to select an airport. Here we want to practice in Zurich, so the ICAO code is Lima, Sierra, Zulu and Hotel. Here you can check on this page, you will see the airport elevation, Switzerland. This is correct. Then we need to select the runway we want to play with. So here you get all the runway available for this airport. This is the FSX database. You can check here the runway length in meters, in feet, if the ILS is available. So here we will choose runway 14. The next step is to choose either one of these quick sets that you have here, takeoff, base, downwind, or finals. So let's try now a final approach, 4 nautical miles. So here we are 4 nautical miles, 2,700 feet, runway 14 in Zurich. Now we send that to Flight Simulator. And the first step, as you can see here, is PMDG setting up all the system. Now FSiPanel is monitoring the engine's pull-up, maintaining the aircraft altitude, making the nav setting for you, make sure the aircraft is trimmed properly for the approach. And when everything is set up for you, you will see on the left top corner of your screen a message which says arm the approach. So this is what I'm doing now. And then by releasing the pause mode, you will be behind the control. So now you're flying the approach, glide slope captured is coming now, fully established. And from that point you can practice your approach, do a go around. As you can see on the nav display, you have the go around path as well displayed. Let's try on the same airport. We want to do a downwind. So we choose downwind, the new altitude is computed here, and we push move aircraft. Immediately Flight Simulator X will start to work on it. So you will get again the PMDG system initialization for a few seconds. When this will be done, then FSiPanel will start to prepare your aircraft. So now we are on the left-hand base. As you can see, the speed is 220 knots now as we are clean. And if you look on the nav display, you see that we are on the left-hand base, which is exactly what we wanted. So now the engine have started, and you look at the speed, it's a little bit high. So FSiPanel is now reducing the speed, maintaining the altitude as we wanted. And when everything will be ready, you will get again on the left hand top corner the message telling you that you can have control anytime. So here we see the speed dropping slowly. And that's it. Now we have this message here. The aircraft is ready to fly. Again, the only thing to do now as we're on downwind is to release the autopilot. And that's it, you're flying. The aircraft is maintaining the altitude. The aircraft is on my left hand side. And I'm ready to practice visual circuit from here, or vectors to final approach. Anything you want to do from that position. Okay, let's try now vectors to final approach, either right hand or left hand. So here if we try a left hand, you can see that we will go left hand vectors runway 14, and here it will use the system default, which is 1 mile base leg to lead you to a 8 miles final. So here again the system will start to initialize. So the engine are started, and here we are in a vectors configuration. So this is 180 knots with flaps 5, which is a good speed and configuration to get established on the ILS. So the aircraft is now getting at the correct configuration for this approach. As soon as everything is ready, you will get the message like here now. Ready to fly, you can arm your approach, your nav setting has been done, everything is set for you, the aircraft is on your left hand side as we are on left hand vectors. So we arm the approach, localizer and glide slope arm, we release the pause mode, and we are flying just a 1 mile straight line for a 30 degrees intercept. And now the aircraft is getting on the localizer. As you can see, localizer is captured, and we should have the glide slope at 8 miles, which is what was set on the default parameter for these vectors. And now the glide slope will be coming, and you are fully established. Now you can practice configuration and landing. You also have a very detailed position setting on the left hand side of your screen. You see that we have left-hand vectors. If I click on here, I have then the options to choose and define other position. Here I choose to go over Charlie Fox 14, which is 1 point over the approach in Zurich. You can also choose certain amount of nautical miles on funnel. Here I put 6 miles and I want 3 degrees glide path. This means the aircraft will be positioned at 6 miles funnel, and the altitude computed here is based on a 3 degrees glide to the runway. So you should be exactly on the glide slope. You have the options to have left-hand base here, and you can change the distance to your base and distance to your final. So if you want to change anything here, like 5 miles for the X and the Y, we want to change it to a longer final. Let's say I want more time for my approach. I just decide here, okay, 4 miles is good enough for me, and I'm ready for this approach, and the altitude is automatically calculated so that you are on the glide. Downwind is the same thing here. If you want to be farther from the airport or closer from the airport, if you want to do visual approach, just change the value, and the altitude is based on the default, which you can set, or you can change it manually as you wish to make the perfect approach for you. Left-hand vectors, 30 degrees intercept to final. This is what we have just done. You can change as well the distance you have to fly to get onto the localizer, as well as the final distance. This is what you change here. And the altitude is again computed for a 3 degrees glide slope, so you will be on the glide slope once you establish on the localizer. So it will be nicely set for you. This is the options you have on this panel. We also have the takeoff position, which is available. Okay, so now we are on a 4 miles final. We will try a go around to see if the FMS has been nicely programmed from previous flights, and if the aircraft will capture the lateral navigation LNAV during your go around. So here your aircraft is getting ready. Again, all the speed will be correct, and you're ready to fly. So when you're ready to fly, you just have to arm the approach, release your pause by pressing the P key, and that's it. The speed is correct, glide slope is coming, and we are fully established. The next thing we can do is check what we need to do for the final check. We see that we have the speed brake, which needs to be armed. This is done now, and final check is complete. So now we fly our approach, and at any time when we need to do a go around, we can do the go around. First we make sure we have the go on altitude set. The aircraft is now ready, and it's up to you now when you want to do your go around. To do a go around on this aircraft is very straightforward. 737, 777, press the toggle switch, you get in go around mode. We go to flaps 20, and with a positive rate we raise the landing gear, and as you see, LNAV has been captured, so the aircraft is now following the go around track of the approach. Passing 1000 feet, we arm VNAV, and now we can retract our flaps in sequence according to the speed bugs. So this is as well very nice to practice go around and different kind of approaches. Another thing of this software is the training for low visibility approaches, Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3. This is the standard for airlines when we train in a simulator. So this is one thing you can do with this software. I will show you now how to fly, let's say, a Cat 1 approach in Zurich. Lima Sierra Zulu Hotel again. Cat 1 is an approach with 550 meters of visibility. It's the minimum before low visibility. So we will choose weather. Here we have the preset. Cavoke, very nice weather. Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, and Novice. So if we go Cat 1, now we send the weather to the simulator. So the system knows what kind of weather we want to have. And I just choose a 4 nautical miles final, ready, and we press move aircraft. At that point, the aircraft will be positioned 4 miles final in Zurich. And as you can see, the weather is very bad now. We expect a IFR approach, which is for training purposes, down to Cat 1. So we expect 550 meters visibility. The sailing should be around 200 feet. So we are ready, we are on the approach. Release the pause, and the glide slope will be coming. Glide slope captured, we are fully established. We check for the final checklist, speed brake armed, ready. We are established for this approach. And now we will fly this aircraft down to the ground and make an auto land to let you see how the weather look like for a Cat 1 approaches.
Approaching 1-4.
Alright, now we have the ground contact and we see the approach lights coming. So we are getting visual on the approach lights. So we are clear to continue now. And passing over the threshold, the system goes in flare mode and the aircraft will land on runway 14 in Zurich. Aircraft landed, we use the reverse. The auto brake is nicely braking for us and the autopilot is maintaining the runway axis. And now I will demonstrate you a Cat 2 weather, how it will look like. This will be a Cat 2 weather with 300 meters RVR, runway visual range. And now we go for Cat 3 approaches. This will be now your visibility if you come for a Cat 3 approaches. If you decide to set no Vs means no visibility, and this will force you to go around as you won't have any contact on the runway, reaching your minimum. Another feature of this program is the weather engine. So you can use any weather as well as the weather from the past of the airport, historical weather. So we choose an airport, then we go over the weather point, and here we have the first 5 presets as we just used: Cavoke, Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, and no visibility. No visibility, you can practice IFR approach and you will have to go around. Okay, now if we want to get the actual weather, we push this button and now we have the weather for the past 7 hours of the airport. So we just click on the weather we like, and then we can see that wind, visibility, temperature, QNH, and phenomena has been updated, as well as the ceiling. So if we want to add, let's say, an overcast ceiling here, just click on overcast. I will put 4,500 meters, enter, and now we have the ceiling as we like it. This is for the historical weather for the day. Now if I want to enter a new wind, I just type in wind directions, and the speed. Enter. The wind is set. I can as well set the wind for an approach with headwind here, tailwind, or crosswind. If I want to practice crosswind landing, I just choose the crosswind 30 knots. Then my crosswind is set. For the visibility, we can enter the visibility in meters or in statute miles. Let's put 2,500 meters now. Then we can set the temperature. The temperature is in degrees Celsius as for aviation. So let's say it's 1 degrees and then the dew point 1 degrees. Enter. The QNH setting can be set in the American system or European system. So let's see, now we have 2995, enter, and we see that we have the A in front for the American system. Phenomena, we can set anything from light rain to rain, snow, thunderstorm for approach. So we can just choose whatever we want, and then we can send this weather to the simulator for the next approach, and we can continue to update it. That will be how to set any weather you like for your training. So you can as well download historical weather of the past months. So you just press this button and then you can choose your date. So if you remember for nice weather or bad weather, just select the date, press download, and then you will get all the meta published for your airport for the day you have selected. So then you can choose the one that fits you. You find that your weather is now imported into the system. You can update it if you feel that you need to update any of the parameter, and then whenever you feel ready to fly or to send it to your colleague flying, you press the send weather and that will be done. So you can set any weather you like prior or during any approach. And the software also have a crosswind challenge. So what it means is you start with a 15 knots crosswind from left or right side, and if you land successfully on the runway center line, you will get another 5 knots for the next approach. So now we'll try to set up a 20 knots crosswind approach in snow in Kennedy Airport to finish this first video. So I will choose Kennedy Airport, New York, the runway. So we will take something with an ILS 04 left. Now I will set my weather. So I can take an historical weather to get a base for my weather, which is always nice to have a nice base. So let's pick up a date. We pick up a weather. Alright. That's it. And now we want 20 knots crosswind. So how to set the 20 knots crosswind? Push the wind, left crosswind, and then I type in 20 knots, enter. So if we want some snow, it's better to reduce the temperature, so I'll put 1 degrees for the dew point, and we said we want some snow, so we just should choose, here, heavy snow. So now we have all the parameters for the weather. This will be nice for our approach. So I send the weather. Now I go to my position and I would like to fly a 4 miles final in New York Kennedy with the weather. Move aircraft, and now we can see how the weather looks like. Bad visibility in heavy snow, and we are 4 miles final on runway 04 left in New York Kennedy Airport. So the system will set your aircraft correctly for you: trim, power, speed, altitude, nav setting, and once it's telling you that you're ready to fly, you will be in charge of this approach. So if you use this software as an instructor with 3D, you can set any weather and you can push no V's at the end, and your student will have to go around as they won't see the runway at the minimum. So now we press approach, release the pose, we are all set, speed brake arm, that's it, everything is green, final check is completed, we are established for a nice crosswind landing, as you can see on the nav display, 20 knots from the left, and we can fly this approach on our 777. And this software is as well available for PMDG 737, Level D 767, and all the standard airplane from Microsoft, even though they are not very realistic like those high-end aircraft. You can still fly any aircraft you like. I intend to add more complex aircraft depending on which one the user wants to integrate. I will be putting them one by one into the simulator, into the software. So to summarize this, I decided to do this software because I always feel frustrated when I land trying a new airplane. Let's say the PMDG 777, and after the first landing you need to make other approaches, as we do in the airline business. We need to train landings, crosswind landing, go-arounds, and every time you need to reset your FMS, you need to make sure that your aircraft is properly configured for the approach. And FSX is not very well designed. In case you load a flight, you will end up with an engine at idle. You will have a lot of caution on your ACAS. So now with this software, you can really practice like 15 approach in half an hour in any situation you like, by bad weather, good weather, go-arounds. And there is auto modes as well, which will always reset your approach to your previous position. So this will let you practice without having to interfere with FSiPanel while you fly. It works with the squawk mode, so if you squawk a specific code, you tell FSiPanel what you want it to do, and it will work accordingly. We're putting the autopilot off now, and we will vacate the runway. Be careful because it's full of snow, so the braking action is not very good here. We have to be careful. Alright guys, this is the end of the demonstration number 1. The software is almost finished. I think I will finish it by the end of the year. It will be available for you. It's really for training purposes, mainly to fly approaches, even though you can fly as well air work, so you can be at 10,000 feet, 20,000 feet. It's mainly for the approaches in all kind of weather, to let you practice go-around, landings, crosswind landing. And this is very important when you fly a new airplane, to feel confident during the approach. And as well, the takeoff mode, you can choose to take off. Once you're ready, you take off, and then you say, okay, I want to practice another takeoff, so you press again takeoff, and you will be